And I've said repeatedly as I've been in this state, and I think Tom said it very well, this race is just beginning. There's only 4 states have spoken. There are 46 others. Or excuse me, under President, 53 others. According to President Obama. But if you throw it, technically he's right in this primary process because we have 7 other District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, others get a chance to speak. So there are 53 others, and they can actually say truthfully there are 53 others that are going to speak in this primary process. And we're going to work state by state by state. A lot of folks have said, well, you know, these caucuses are not that important and everything is focused on Super Tuesday. You show them different here in Colorado. You stand up here and you change this race. And you can do it. So we are going to go out and stand up for the conservative alternative. Not the conservative alternative to Mitt Romney, the conservative alternative to Barack Obama. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to get down and dirty in the personal attacks. I've had plenty of opportunities that the media has tried to serve up to me like a beach ball to hit. And I have decided to let the ball fall to the ground. I'm not going to criticize someone because they went out in the private sector and engaged in capitalism and made money and had successes and failures. Don't we all have successes and failures? I'm not going to criticize someone who worked hard in their service in public life and went out and took the skills that they accumulated to help companies who had problems with the government. That's exactly what our First Amendment guaranteed, and I'm not going to criticize someone for doing that. That's perfectly fine with me, and you know, there are more important issues in this race. This race is about, candidly, the future of Western civilization. I don't think I can state it any more clearly. We are that, as Reagan said, that shining city on the hill. We are that country that is different than every other country in the history of the world. That believed that God-given rights, believed in limited government so people could live according to God's will and be able to raise their family and their children and build a great country from the bottom up. That's what America's all about. That's the seed we planted. And any other country that has seen progress in the last 200 years is because they borrowed from America, because they tried to be more like us. Humankind advanced more in the last 235 years than it did in the previous 2,000, because we liberated the human spirit, we liberated the God-given potential of every person, because we believed in the dignity of every person. That's what made America different. We all... Our ancestors, my father and my grandfather, came from other countries who didn't believe that. Who believed that the elite in society should govern those who are, well, less well-bred, of a different class. Well, that's never been the situation in America. And we transformed the world. And now we have seen the siren song of the elite in society saying, no, no, we can take care of you better than you can take care of yourself. Trust us, it'll be easier for you. You'll be more secure. The siren song of government taking and robbing you of your freedom, but in exchange for that, some level of security and comfort. It is a siren song that has been adopted by most of the world. And just like the sirens in ancient mythology, go back and read what the sirens did once you arrived on that island. They devour you. They destroy you. They consume you. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot listen to the siren song. We cannot listen to President Obama, and we can't listen to those within our party who want to be just a little bit less than what the Democrats and the left is doing to our country. We need someone who can create a strong and bold contrast. Back in 1980, we were faced with less of a stark contrast with the sense of what's happening to our country today, but certainly one that was a similar moment in American history. And the people of Colorado, the people of this country, and Republicans, had a choice to make between someone who could win in the sense that, well, they weren't going to really upset too many people, and therefore we could probably cobble together a group of folks that might vote for them, as opposed to someone who was bold and believed in the very essence of America, and that wasn't at stake at that time, was willing to go out and trumpet that message. Lead boldly. And they said, don't do that. He can't win. Everybody, when you mention the name Ronald Reagan now in conservative circles, and even among the left, it's like the movie Blazing Saddles. I don't know if you remember that movie. Now, why would I talk Ronald Reagan and Blazing Saddles? Well, you know, he's an actor. If you ever saw the movie Blazing Saddles, when the name Randolph Scott was said during Blazing Saddles, they all paused and they had a chorus, Randolph Scott. As this epic figure in Western films. Well, that's what we say now when Ronald Reagan said, oh, Ronald Reagan. What a great man. Back in 1980, Ronald Reagan wasn't a great man. Oh, he was a great man, but nobody recognized it then. He was just a man who was a conservative governor of California who was far too radical to ever be elected. Someone who was too dangerous. Someone who wasn't a composite candidate. And the people of the Republican Party didn't listen to the folks, the experts. I dare say if the cable news shows were as preeminent and predominant as they are today, Ronald Reagan would have never been elected in 1980
oh my God.
To the Republican primary. Because you all would have listened. If you look at the polling numbers in Florida, who had the highest favorable ratings by far of anybody in the state of Florida? Me. Me. But see, all the cable channels that all those voters watched said I couldn't win. And so they didn't vote for me. If the cable channels had existed back in 1980, there would have been no Ronald Reagan. Don't trust them. Trust yourself. Trust your own judgments. Do what you think is right, not what the pundits say that you need to do. I thank all of our endorsers, both present and not, for standing up and not going for the composite candidate, not going for the safe choice, stepping up and doing what was necessary at a time when our country needs that bold and different leadership. And I thank you, and I thank them, and I hope that they've encouraged you and hope to persuade you that on Tuesday you can go out here in Colorado and reset this race all over again. Thank you.